All right, guys, in example number 4, it says solve, then graph the solution set. But this is a little bit different. And this is a rule that we need to remember. Okay? Before we can deal with inequality, before we can deal with absolute values, we have to get them by themselves. Okay? We have to get this thing alone. And in this one, it's not alone. Right? We've got 8 minus the absolute value. So this thing needs to, we need to subtract 8 from both sides, and now I have the opposite of the absolute value of 1 minus x is greater than negative 1. Now absolute value can't be negative, but I'm not done yet. Okay? I need to multiply this entire side by negative 1 because I got the negative out front of the absolute value. And I need to multiply this side by negative 1. Now, when I multiply this by negative, these negatives become positive, and I just get the absolute value of 1 minus x. And I multiply the other side by negative 1, and I'm going to get positive 1. But what happens to the inequality when I multiply both sides by a negative? Austin? It flips. Now I've got something that I can work with. Is this going to be a conjunction or a disjunction?
Conjunction.
It's going to be a conjunction because it's less than 1. I'm going to go ahead and graph it just because I like to have it in my head. Right? Here's 0, and I need to go 1 unit in both directions. Right? Is it equal to it? No, it's less than. Okay. So it's this stuff right here. So I'm going to say that 1 minus x has to be less than 1 and greater than negative 1. Now I need to get the x by itself. Okay? I'm going to subtract 1 from all sides, and I'm going to get negative 2 is less than negative x, which is less than 0. Whoa. Now I need to multiply everything by negative 1. Okay, and I'm going to get that 2 has to be greater than x, which has to be greater than 0. Do you see how it flipped because I multiplied everything by a negative? But I don't like it this way, do I? I don't like my inequalities like that. I need to have the smaller numbers on the left. 0 is less than x, which is less than 2. Okay, does that make sense? Let's just go back and check it and see if it works. What number is between 0 and 2? Curran? I like 1. Let's try it. See if it works. If I plug 1 in here, I'm going to get 1 minus 0. I'm sorry, 1 minus 1 is 0. The absolute value of 0 is 0. 8 minus 0 is 8, and 8 is greater than 7. Does that make sense? Yeah. That works? Good. I've got the graph right here, and I've got the inequality right down there. Okay? And that was a nifty little one right there. Troy?
So, like, according to this answer,
yeah,
so it would have to be like a decimal, the x.
Oh, wait a minute. I graphed this wrong, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's not right.
It's a disjunction.
No, it's not a disjunction. But it's between 0 and 2. I'm sorry. I need to check at the end and make sure that I get the same thing. And the reason is because, I had to shift it around with the 8 and then the 1 in there and the negative out front of the absolute value. Check to make sure that your graph matches your solution at the end. Okay? All right, great job, guys. You're ready for your homework.
Yeah.